as a police officer.
Omaha's police chief reacting today after one of his officers was shot at a convenience store. Good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Brian Mastry. Omaha police say Officer Stephen Mersek is currently in stable condition. He was hospitalized this morning after a man shot him at a West Omaha convenience store. The chief and mayor said they were able to speak with the officer at the hospital. The man who police say shot Officer Mersek, 36-year-old Shedrick Mills, is currently in custody and faces several charges, including attempted murder. In addition to identifying the officers and suspect involved, we also got an in-depth timeline for what happened. So here's what we know. It started around 6 this morning when officers went to the Quick Trip just off 120th and West Dodge. Police say a man called 911 multiple times, making several comments before hanging up. Then workers at that Quick Trip reportedly called 911 saying a man was harassing customers. Officer Mersek and another officer showed up to find Mills standing outside the store. Police say the man referenced the KKK with the officers and claimed people were following him. The officers on the scene reportedly tried to convince him to leave before trying to arrest him. Police say that's when Officer Mersek tried to put Mills in handcuffs. He resisted, and once officer tried to approach Mills a second time, police say Mills reached into his waistband, pulled out a gun, pointing it at Officer Mersek. Now we have some body-worn camera footage that shows Officer Mersek had his taser out first when Mills pulled away, eventually switching to his gun. Footage shows, that's that shot there, footage shows that Mills shot at the officer, striking him in the head, leading to Officer Mersek to return fire multiple times. After the crossfire, police say that's when Shedrick Mills ran. About 15 minutes later, police took Mills into custody at the McDonald's near 114th and West Dodge. That's like 6 blocks away. Omaha police add Mills did not suffer injuries in the incident and was medically cleared. Following the shooting, Chief Schmatter defended his officer, saying the scrutiny recently toward the police department has gone too far.
For the past week, I've heard a lot of scrutiny put on the Omaha Police Department. A lot of scrutiny that wasn't true, some of it was false, and quite frankly, it's gotten a little bit out of control. We have a job to do in this city. These officers respond every day. They put their lives on the line. Being police officers protecting this city. And sometimes that's not the best circumstance that somebody may find themselves in, but they're doing their job.
2 hours later, Kasim Shabazz, Terrence Crawford's head of security, who remember was in the car last week when Crawford was pulled over at gunpoint by police for reckless driving. Well, he expressed frustrations with the idea of today's shooting being connected to last week's traffic stop with the boxer.
To get on television and refer to last week and what people had to say. No, stay on topic. Talk about what took place. Separate that from this, because this ain't got nothing to do with that.
Police say Shedrick Mills also had 2 unrelated warrants from Omaha police and Pottawatomie County deputies. Investigators say they found a handgun along with magazines and ammunition inside the McDonald's. Mills is currently being held at the Douglas County Jail. He's due in court later this week.